roughly about a month ago, I had one of my surprise drops, my just random videos where I lay out some thoughts. I titled it Making Peacock Must Watch, Part 1. I said Part 1 because I had more ideas. After we roll the open, I will elaborate on what those continued ideas are to help WWE on Peacock. But before that, if you don't have your copy of Everlasting Survivors All Day Long, Volume 1, there are limited first printing still available at Etsy.com. There's a link to the store in the description. This is the Nick Crook cover. This is the Jeff Hicks cover. And right there, except a lot of glare, is the new Jeff Hicks cover. So after the open, I will tell you the second part of my plan to make WWE on Peacock must see or must tune in for programming. Like I said before the open rolled, this is the second part of the plan. So the first part was a seasonal, a rotating seasonal schedule of in-ring action for Peacock exclusively. A revamped Cruiserweight Classic entitled the Eddie Guerrero Invitational, the return of the Mae Young Classic, reformatting of the King and the Queen of the Ring tournament called the Crowning, and the mixed match challenge return. And so, like I said, all that is in-ring action to help make Peacock a destination for good quality pro wrestling, which, gotta say, is very much the way you get wrestling these days, high quality. Now, the next, or this part 2 of the plan, is not necessarily in-ring based wrestling product. It is actually a return of 2 prior products, but taken in a new way, and the first time that we have used a new IP of WWE. So that new intellectual property is the WWE Campus Rush, which they announced would be appearing up, clearly enough at campuses. So colleges will be scouted by WWE, and they are trying to find folks to sign for their next in line contracts. And so, to me, you use the Campus Rush footage. So first, shoot footage of the people trying out on the campuses. Second, have a special on Peacock, just a 1 episode per year of just all of the people trying out, and you highlight the ones who are the best, obviously, and the people who sign. That way, at the end of the documentary of WWE going to the campuses to find their next in line folks, at the end of that, that's when it is announced that all of the signings who are next in line will be being developed on the revamped version for Peacock of Tough Enough. So no longer do people get to mail in videos like this where you talk to the camera and try and convince the higher-ups that they should hire me or you, the viewer. No, now we are using Tough Enough as a vehicle to introduce the audience to the people that WWE already believe are of some value, that have the capacity to excel. You would keep or can keep the uh, fan interactivity of Tough Enough, where each week you can vote who you thought made the most progress, and those votes can be tallied and used to help save somebody from being eliminated, yada yada, whatever. But I just think that by ensuring that the folks that they intentionally believe have possibility, with them being the cast of Tough Enough, it should help to prevent the possibility of... So Tough Enough, in its prior incarnation, did not bolster a large roster of winning success. Like Maven had a minor amount of success, and Nydia had interesting moments, but nothing that I would say Tough Enough contributed to from season 1. Season 2, Linda Miles and Jackie Gata, again, nothing to write home about. 3, you had Matt Capitelli and John Hennigan, who went on to become John Morrison, who did really well for himself. Never that upper echelon of WWE, but still did well. And so forth and so on. Like, just so many times people fell through the cracks and whatever. So my point is, if you bring Tough Enough back, but with a twist, that twist being the participants are people that WWE are already high on because they signed them from the Campus Rush viewing, then I think it might help them. And even if it doesn't help make the winner valuable, it can't be worse than what we've already done. So give this a go. So Tough Enough runs for as long as it runs, and you can give it a little breathing room. But the next piece of this puzzle is the return of a show that I thought deserved to be continued in the original WWE Network days, and that is Breaking Ground. So Breaking Ground was a documentary series on WWE Network that followed the progression of the new signee, the person who was being elevated on NXT, and then the folks that were being elevated beyond NXT onto the main roster. And it was just an interesting, different approach to a way to look at the development of the talent. And I think that if you use the Campus Rush documentary in conjunction with Tough Enough, and then whoever wins Tough Enough is the upstart rookie character on Breaking Ground, while also following, let's just say hypothetically, Braun Breaker being told he's going to be elevated to the main roster, and then some other character has an additional evolution on the show. Again, Nikita Lyons, we'll just pick her, right? So you see her go from being young in the business, having a groundswell of love, and then say, oh, we're going to have you be the one to dethrone Mandy Rose, just hypothetically. So that way you have 3 completely different storylines running on Breaking Ground to help facilitate people caring about the characters. And then each season, because again, it's us under the impression that this will work, or under the assumption that this does work, then each year you would do it all over again. So WWE goes to campuses, they find folks that they think, oh, this can be the next good crop. And so you air that. That's the lead into Tough Enough returning. Tough Enough returns. You watch those people progress. Whoever wins is the star of Breaking Ground for the next year. And that course continues. So if these are the things that air, during the off season of the wrestling specials, then I think that it's just a way to help make Peacock a more valuable wrestling viewing apparatus, if you will, a thing to make the wrestling fan get more bang for their buck when it comes to the Peacock subscription. So that is part 2 of my plan to make Peacock must-watch programming. Thank you for tuning in, and if you have not gotten your copy of Everlasting Survivors All Day Long, Volume 1, there are limited first printings still available at Etsy.com. This is the Nick Crook cover. This is the Jeff Hicks cover. Thank you for watching. Come back on Wednesday. Come back next weekend. Have a great one.